everybody, happy Thursday. This is day 9 of my November favorites, things I'm loving, things I'm thankful for, things of, I look like I have a halo on my head. What is happening here? Hold on, come this way, come into my kitchen. Okay, there we go. How you guys doing? You're a little lopsided, I apologize for that. So today I am making one of my favorite autoimmune paleo protocol snacks, and that is Tostones. We're making Tostones or Tostones, I don't know. Hi Bridget. I don't know how you pronounce this word. It's Tostones, Tostones, Tostones? I don't know. My America is showing. So this right here is not a banana. This is a plantain, and this is a green plantain. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry this up as part of our dinner today. I'm actually going to make 2 of them just because we like to have leftovers the next day. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this. So if you guys are anybody who has an autoimmune disease, I do have an autoimmune wellness class going on Facebook tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I have that linked in the description bar below. So you can check that out. Hope to see you guys there. So this is a Tostone. No, this is not. This is a plantain that I'm going to make into Tostones. So let me grab another one because I've got a second one here that I want to fry up too at the same time. There we go. These are 2 like really, really big Tostones. These are not Tostones. These are plantains, people. Holy heavens. But see how big they are? I mean, they're kind of large, bigger than a traditional banana. A banana would be about that big, probably. So these are plantains, and I generally get these from Whole Foods normally, but my regular grocery store has them. You can get them pretty much everywhere. So what you do first is you have to take the skin off, and I like to rinse them. Just because I don't know, it's like a thing. I just rinse my plantains here. And then I'm going to, let me grab a towel real quick. I'm gonna move you guys down so you can see what I'm doing here. So I have my 2 plantains. Let me tilt you this way. There we go. Okay, so I've got my 2 plantains, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off the ends here. Can you see that okay? Cutting off the 2 ends just with like a steak knife kind of knife thing. All right, so I've got my 2 ends cut off. So then you can see how there's like a rib sort of thing down, kind of like a corner or something like that. So I'm just gonna take my knife and I'm actually just gonna run down that part of the plantain just to kind of score it. I'm not cutting all the way through. Just cutting enough to like the actual where you can see the plantain is. And then you have to use a little bit of thumb muscles, but you just stick your thumb in here and you can pry the skin off. Put the knife down when you're doing that. And it just peels right off. How many of you guys have made plantains before? Normally, when I go to the grocery store, I try to do it about once a week, and I normally buy somewhere around 8 to 10 plantains, and the checkout people always look at me like I have 5 heads, and they're like, wow, you're gonna be making a lot of plantains tonight. I'm like, I'm not making them all in one day, people. I spread them out. But they're really, really good, and I actually didn't start making these until the autoimmune protocol came around in our house. So the skins that are more yellow or a little more black are easier to peel, but the green ones, you know, most of the time they come off in one piece. See, there you go. How about that? So this looks like a banana. It's actually not a banana. It's from a similar family, but it's definitely a different thing. So sometimes you'll have little discoloration. I just run my knife down and get the discoloration off. I don't think it's like it means anything or it's bad or anything like that. But I just get that off of there. This one actually had a bad spot. Okay, so there's one of them. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other one here. It kind of looks like a big aloe leaf or something. You can find these normally in the banana section of your grocery store. I have found these pretty much all over Ohio. I found them in Florida, across the eastern part of the US. I found them too. I don't know if we found any in Canada when we were up in Canada. I'm not sure if they were a thing up there. But you can find them normally in the banana section or in the tropical fruit section of your grocery store. And they remind me more of potatoes than bananas. The sweeter ones, the ones that have like a brown or a yellow or a black skin, can be used as like dessert baking bananas. I make a really good whatever you call the plantain apple cookies, and they're delicious. Julie's saying my sister's ex-girlfriend is Cuban. Oh yeah, and yeah, it's true, my America is showing. And she used to make fried plantains for Sunday night dinners. Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty much what I'm making. I'm making fried, yeah, I know, I gotcha. Fried plantains. Tostones is, I don't know how you say it, but that's how I make these, and they're gonna crisp up kind of like hash browns. And for some reason, this skin, see, this is real life here, people. This skin is like not coming off. Okay, there we go. Jeez Louise, that was like impossible. All right, so when you have it looking like this, right, where all the skin doesn't come off, you can just take a peeler, like a normal vegetable peeler, and just peel that part right off. It just comes off really easily. There we go. Sometimes, as I throw it across the kitchen. I am not a very graceful cook, we'll just say that. That's for sure. All right, so once I get these de-skinned here, there we go. You have a couple of different options for making these. I like to, when they're hard like this, they're not really sweet or like they're more savory, I like to cut them into 3/4 size pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that here. As I flip plantains all over the place. So about 3/4 of an inch roughly is how I like to slice them. And they look like bananas, right? I mean, you can kind of see the seeds inside. And so I'm gonna try to make them as uniform. Yeah, absolutely, Bridget. So this is what it looks like. It's very starchy. So it looks like a banana, but it's hard. Like I'm squeezing really, really hard. And like if it was a normal banana, it would go, right? So this is more of like a potato-y banana, I suppose. And you can make French fries out of these too. I've done that a number of times, baking them in the oven, just like cut them into little like French fry type of shapes. But I don't know, lately I've been really liking them on the stove. So I'm just cutting up, you know, they're about 3/4 of an inch size rounds. I'm gonna do the same thing for this other one too. And I have a really large pan, so I can hopefully get them all in at one time. And they are delicious. They're really, really good. They fry up nice golden brown. You kind of smash them, which is good too. All right, so we are going to go over to the stove here. Come with me. Come see my dirty stove. Isn't that nice? I should have cleaned before you guys came into my kitchen, but I didn't. You guys don't care. We're all friends here, right? All right, so I've got my, this is a very large skillet. Let me move you around this way, actually. Is that better? Kind of. Oh, I see a comment. Let mine get more ripe. Yes, I have been doing the cinnamon thing. It's been really, really good. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. There we go. All right, I've been doing the cinnamon thing with my ripe plantains. They've been absolutely delicious. Okay, so I can't see your comments for right now because you're facing this way. All right, so I'm gonna turn my stove on to high, and I'm going to take, so this is some olive oil here, just regular old olive oil. I've used avocado oil too, that works great. And I'm just going to drizzle it on the bottom. I don't really deep fry these, as most recipes tend to do. I tend to just saute them, I guess, kind of. And then what I'm gonna do is I've got my little things here, so I'm just gonna swirl them around in the oil and just get them in my pan. Here, I could dump them in, but I tend to get oil all over my kitchen when I do that, so I'm gonna not do that. So while this is heating up, and I have done this on a gas stove as well, and that's worked fine. This is an electric stove, but gas stove works good too. Probably on your high setting to start with, just to get the oil hot, and then you turn it down because it can burn the plantains. We don't want that. All right, so once I have them in here, they're gonna start to brown, and they'll be about 2 minutes or so of browning here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to flip them and let them brown on the other side as well. And then after they're equally brown on both sides, golden brown, not like black or anything, but nicely golden, then I will take the back side of a cup and I will smash them. And then I put them back down and let them fry up again for a second time. All right, there we go. So this is going to heat up. Okay, now I can see if any of you guys had any questions so far. Okay. Okay, let me scroll down here. Okay, get mine more ripe, slice lengthways. Yeah, that is such a good idea. Oh, dip in sour cream. I haven't tried that before. Gluten-free celiac person. Bridget, you are in good company because we are gluten-free in this house too. So there we go. Not officially diagnosed celiac. We have been tested for the celiac gene, came out negative. But we do have gluten intolerance, and we do have one member of our household, my husband, has autoimmune disease. So we do not do gluten at all. So, all right, see if there's anybody else saying anything. Okay, cool. All right, so you can hear these are sizzling. Let me turn you back down here. I'm gonna end up turning these down in just a second, but hang on, let me show you. Okay, so can you hear that? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take like a little tongs here, not Rachel Ray, but they look like Rachel Ray. And I'm just gonna move them around my pan. This is a pan that doesn't really stick or anything, but I like to just move them around just in case. I have some of my pans, like my stainless steel pans, these puppies can stick, and they stick pretty good. So I just like to move them around a little bit. And what you want, if you can see from the side here, it's starting to get a little tiny bit golden, sort of. So we want it to look like this about halfway up the tostone, or halfway up the plantain. So once we get that pretty golden, then I'm gonna turn the heat down. But I like to just get the oil heated up. And I feel like this is at an angle because all of the oil always just goes to one side, which drives me crazy. I have to like constantly keep them moving. All right, so they are going pretty good here. And you can use any oil you want. You know, I use olive oil, but avocado oil works great too because it has a really high heat point. So that works good. You could use ghee if you wanted to, or butter, or you know, anything like that. Lard actually would work really good as well for my lard fans. All right, so generally speaking, these ones in the middle get done pretty quickly. Is this exciting? Is this like watching paint dry or grass grow or anything? I hope not. This is real life, like real time Tostone cooking. And yeah, I've been making these since we've been paleo and paleo autoimmune protocol. And we have these probably like every night or every couple at least. We have them all the time. And they're super duper delicious. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and flip them. You can kind of see how they're starting to get a little yellow, right? What do you serve these with? You know, I put salt on them. Personally, I like to have them, if they're really like the green plantains, like what I have, I serve them with ketchup in my house because I'm not autoimmune protocol. I'm just paleo, quote unquote, just. So I like to do either ketchup or mustard with these because they kind of taste like a French fry. My husband just has them plain with salt on them. The more sweeter ones, the ones that have the black skin or yellow skin, I put cinnamon on and just serve them like that, and they're absolutely delicious. Maybe a little tiny bit of salt, but not too much. So you can kind of see how they're starting to get brown a little bit. That's what we want. And I'm gonna probably turn my heat down here too. I see comments here, guys. Hang on. Let me get these turned over and then I'll read your comments. Oh, that one's getting really brown. It's good. These end up really delicious. And if they're really, really, really green, like the ones that I have, when I go to mush them, they're gonna kind of look like hash browns a little bit. They'll crumble a little bit. So yeah, I do have a really good sweet plantain and apple cookie that's autoimmune protocol friendly that I will do a video on probably closer to Thanksgiving, I'm guessing. But all right, so I'm gonna get these guys turned. There we go. All right, they've all been turned. Everybody's happy in the pan here. I'm gonna add a little bit more of my olive oil just on this edge because this is so tilted. All right, there we go. And I'm gonna turn it down and answer your questions. Sorry. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. You grew up eating those. Awesome, Cynthia. My Puerto Rican stepdad made them. Absolutely. Yes, never thought of eating those with ketchup. My husband drenches everything in ketchup. Yeah, I know. I like having them with ketchup because they remind me of French fries, and we haven't had white potatoes in our family just because those are nightshades that my husband hasn't reintroduced yet. So we haven't had a white potato in this house for about 1.5 years now. So yeah, so these are our French fry replacement, which is good for us. Do you think you can make those on a hot pot stove, one burner? Yes. I actually have an electric skillet that I have traveled with and have made these on perfectly fine. So you absolutely could. You just want to make sure they don't stick. So you'd want to use a good amount of oil in them. But yeah, you totally, absolutely could do that. Okay, I'm going to check and see if these things are ready to be mushed. They're getting there. Okay, so when I mush these, I mush them on a plate. Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm gonna come on over here. Look at my dirty counters. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a big plate like that. You're welcome. Oh yeah, this is a great way of doing it if you find green plantains in the store, because it's so much easier to like cook up ripe plantains. But a lot of times when we get the plantains, they're green, so it's like, well, what do we do with those? You know, it's like, okay, gotta do something. So this is my glass that I'm going to beat them with, mush them with. It has a really sturdy bottom part, so you want it to be flat. It's better than using a mug like this one. So you can see how it has like a lip on it. Lip's not gonna work as well. You want a flat surface. So you could use, I mean, really anything that's flat like this. I just find a cup works great because I have them. So, you know, I have them in my kitchen. Okay, so my Tostones are brown here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them out of the pan. Sorry, this is my arm. Hello, arm. Normally, in real life, I would edit all this out. But since I'm live with you guys, there ain't no editing right now. So I'm just gonna put them all on a plate, and I kind of stack them up a little bit. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mush them. And with these, I have a trick. If I'm doing this with a riper plantain, I don't have to use so much arm strength. But since I'm doing this with a green plantain, and green plantains are really like sturdy and very, very starchy, I have to do a little trick to get them mushed. So, all right, let me see. Got one more left, I think. I think that's all of it. Okay. Alrighty, so you see all my plantains on my plate here. So I'm just going to move them aside a little bit. Alright, so then what I do is I take my little cup, and I'm going to try not to make a loud sound. Sometimes that happens. And you literally just like use the weight of the cup to let them smush. And that's it. So then, I'll try to show you guys so you can see this. There we go. Can you see that? There we go. There's my little like Tostone hash brownie thing. So then I'm just gonna put that back in the oil and keep going with the rest of these. I feel like I'm pounding like nails into a wall or something. Like that's pretty much it. I know, that's what you do. Isn't that crazy? You just mush them, smash them down here. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And sometimes they break apart, but we're not fancy here at Annie Simple Life, so whatever pieces come apart, they come apart, and they taste just as good, and I eat them anyways. They are just as delicious. Wah! And just throw them into my pan. So the bigger they are, you know, the harder it is to kind of mush them, but it's really not that bad. It's not hard. Yeah, see, that's a big one. Good one there. And I'm gonna basically fry them up again, and once I get them golden on each side, they'll be done. So it literally only takes, try not to get these everywhere, about 25 minutes maybe. And I've been talking to you guys and not paying attention, so it probably would take me less time if I wasn't like chatting. But there we go. How about that? Your Tostone lesson for the day. And if somebody is like Cuban or Puerto Rican and eats Tostones, can you tell me if I'm pronouncing this right? Because I feel like I'm not. And I did take like Spanish in high school, but we didn't really learn about cooking in my class. It was more like, I don't know, animals and how to say the cat is in the tree and like things that aren't practical. So yeah, and I'm just going to get them over here. in my pan. So here, let me turn you guys so you can see kind of what's happening over here. Okay, I'm glad my pronunciation is close. Thank you, Yolanda, I appreciate that. So there you go, they're just kind of getting simmered in there. So as soon as I get the rest of these in there, it'll be time to start flipping the ones that I've had in there for a little bit of time. And it's really good to have, if you're gonna do 2 Tostones, or 2 plantains, to have a big pan that can take them all. Like, welcome to Annie's Simple Life Kitchen here. Oh no. Ah, fail. You see that? Oh, yeah. I could use a fork, but it's just myself and my husband eating these. We don't care if they crumble. And you guys don't care, do you? Right? Tell me I'm right. Anyone? So there we go. Almost done. Just get them smushed. Sometimes they stick to the glass. It happens. Okay. See what I mean? Oh, no! Fail. There's some garlic powder or adobo. Ooh, that's a great idea. We have a really good, well, I don't know if it's actually local to us, but there's a really good grocery store in town called Fresh Time. And Fresh Time has plantain chips that we like to buy that are spiced very similar to that. They're really, really good. So yeah, adding some seasoning to them is a great idea. We haven't reintroduced garlic for my husband yet. He was low FODMAP for a while, which is like a certain type of sugar, and garlic's one of those FODMAP foods. So he hasn't been able to introduce that yet, but eventually we'll get there. He can do garlic olive oil though, so maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we'll try that. Okay, 2 more, and then I'm done. And then it's time to flip. Oh my goodness. And there's one on my foot. Now you know what my life is, guys. My life is throwing plantains on my foot. Okay. I saw a comment, sorry. I always say to my family, you're not swallowing these whole. Who cares if they fall apart? I'm just doing some of the work for you. Absolutely. I like that. That's a great way of putting it. Alrighty, so I've got my little guys here in the pan. Hold on, let me push down. There we go. And they are ready to start flipping. So you'll see that they're browning up, right? That's what we want right there. And that's what dogs are for, exactly. Too bad I don't have a dog. I do have a vacuum though. So then if the oil starts to run out, or if these start to absorb the oil, I just add a little bit more. But you just want them brown. And that's it. And they taste delicious. They're nightshade free, so they're paleo, autoimmune protocol friendly. They're paleo friendly. These are vegan friendly for my vegan friends, and they're really, really good. And I hadn't tried them until we were kind of desperate for something starchy, and we were only, we could only handle so many sweet potatoes. We were like, okay, I gotta have something besides sweet potatoes. And since we're not having rice or anything like that, we needed some sort of starch. So Tostones is what it is, that's what we decided to incorporate, and we've done really, really well with them. They're really good. So yeah, we have them most every night. If we don't have them every night, we do have like white sweet potatoes. Those are less sweet potato-y than the orange sweet potatoes. So if you are off of nightshades and off of white potatoes for whatever reason, and you want to incorporate something else that's starchy, the white sweet potatoes have been great. And I talked about those a little bit in my last video that I talked about autoimmune protocol snacks. And they're like purple on the outside, but the inside's white. And they're a lot less sweet potato tasting than sweet potatoes are. So yeah, super good stuff here. Do green plantains taste more like white potatoes or sweet potatoes? They taste a lot more like white potatoes to me, especially in this form right here. They taste nearly identical to French fries to me. Yeah, the sweeter the plantain is, so the more yellow and more black that's on the skin, the more banana-like it is, and you can use it in more of a dessert type of setting. There's tons of recipes where you can like bake the plantain whole in the oven and just sprinkle some salt and some cinnamon on and just eat it that way. My favorite way, I'm more of like a savory person, unless I'm actively like making a cookie or something. So in this case, I prefer the green plantains to the yellow ones in this type of cooking setting, but if I'm making like cookies or something out of them, I like the sweeter ones. So that's it. That is how you make Tostones. Look how easy that is. Like, it's not hard at all. And that's the finished product right there. That's what it looks like. Looks like a new dish for Thanksgiving. Absolutely, you should try it out. This is like a snack that we like to make because we're kind of limited with what we can have that's like prepackaged and things like that. So this is just super easy to whip up, and it's like going back in time. You know, that's it. So, alrighty guys. Oh, there we are. So that's all I got for you. Thanks for joining me today. So this was day 9 of my things I'm loving, favorites, and all that kind of stuff. Hope this was helpful for you guys. If you are anyone interested in helping manage autoimmune disease, autoimmune wellness, I've got a class tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook. You're super welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So link is below if you're interested in checking that out. I'd love to have you. 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Happy Tostone making. I'm going to go eat these with some ketchup, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.